Mo, she hadn't spoken in 10 years, not since the night her best friend vanished without a trace. Now, with a single painting, Mira has revealed a face the town thought was buried forever. And the man who once loved her knows that silence isn't just grief, it's hiding a murder. Modern-day Himachal Pradesh, India, a remote hill town called Baira, wrapped in mists, forests, and old secrets. Arav Malhotra, a successful author returning to his hometown after 10 years. Quiet, observant, and hiding the real reason he came back. Mira, a mysterious young woman who lives alone on the edge of the forest. She's beautiful, soft-spoken, and has never once raised her voice in public. Inspector Dev Singh, local cop who suspects there's more to Arav and Mira than they admit. Ria, Arav's ex-girlfriend, now engaged to someone else but still entangled emotionally. He meets Mira, a quiet woman who paints haunting portraits of people she claims she's never met. One of her new paintings eerily resembles a girl who went missing a decade ago, a girl Arav once loved, but never spoke of. Their attraction is slow and filled with silence, glances, and unspoken trauma. Meanwhile, Inspector Dev Singh is reopening cold cases connected to disappearances in Baira, starting with Radhika, the girl who vanished 10 years ago. The same girl in Mira's painting. The suspense begins to unfold. The emotions stir. The mystery thickens. Arav Malhotra, a successful author, returns to his misty hometown, Baira, in Himachal Pradesh, claiming to be seeking inspiration. But he's haunted by a mysterious suicide from 10 years ago. He encounters Mira, a beautiful, soft-spoken woman who paints eerily realistic portraits, including one of Radhika, a girl who disappeared 10 years ago under suspicious circumstances. Arav is drawn to Mira's silence and secrets, while hiding his own connection to Radhika. Inspector Dev Singh, a sharp local officer, begins reopening the cold case surrounding Radhika's disappearance and is suspicious of both Mira and Arav. The town is watching, the forest is hiding, and someone or something knows the truth. Arav stood under Mira's small tin awning, watching the silver rain cut across the trees. It drummed against the roof like nervous fingers tapping a secret. Mira, inside, was mixing shades of black and burgundy in new painting on the easel. "Do you ever paint anything happy?" Arav asked, voice light but eyes watchful. She didn't look at him. "Happy things don't visit me." The silence between them was never awkward. It was heavy, purposeful, like words would ruin the fragile truth balancing on a thread. Arav stepped closer, watching the emerging face on her canvas. Another girl, pale, wide eyes, but this time there was blood in the background. Red streaks under the eyes. "Who is she?" he asked. Mira paused, brushing mid-air. "No one," she said softly. "Maybe everyone." But Arav knew the eyes. They belonged to Radhika. Inspector Dev Singh sat alone in the station, the file in front of him marked Radhika Gupta missing, presumed dead. He flipped through brittle pages. There were inconsistencies no one followed up on. No suicide note, and no signs of struggle. Diary missing from her room. Arav Malhotra left town 2 days after she vanished. Now he is back. Dev leaned back in his chair. Mira Sharma, the quiet woman in the forest cottage, had only moved here 8 years ago, 2 years after Radhika's case went cold. But the painting, that cursed painting, matched Radhika's features exactly. Too exact to be coincidence. "Let's see what secrets the forest forgot," he muttered, back at the old Malhotra estate. Arav opened a forgotten chest in the attic. The room smelled of mothballs and the past. Inside, beneath old typewritten manuscripts, he found a torn envelope. "To Arav, if I don't come back." His hands trembled. It was real, not a dream, not a memory he could push away anymore. He opened the letter slowly, eyes scanning the faded ink. "You said you'd protect me." "You lied." "I'm scared of him. He knows. If anything happens to me, don't trust anyone, especially Mira. She isn't who she says she is." The signature was smudged, but unmistakable. Radhika. That night, Mira lit a candle in her studio and whispered to the painting, "Why did you find him again?" She asked the canvas. The face stared back, mouth slightly open as if about to scream. Arav knocked. "I know who she is," he said softly. Mira turned, her eyes haunted. You think you do? A pause. Radhika was my best friend, Mira said. She was the only one who believed me. The only one who knew what my father did to me. Arav blinked. Your father? Yes, Mira whispered. Dev Singh. It gets deeper, darker, and more emotional from here, with the romance intensifying and the mystery circling tighter. Arav discovered an old letter from Radhika, who warned him not to trust Mira, hinting something dark was coming for her. Inspector Dev Singh is revealed to be Mira's father, and her history of abuse begins to unfold. Mira admitted to Arav that Radhika was her best friend and the only one who believed her. Mira's paintings seem to come from visions or memories she never explains, and one matched Radhika's face exactly. The connection between the missing girl, the artist with buried trauma, and the returning author is tightening, but nothing is as it seems. Some truths don't set you free, they burn you alive. The fireplace in Arav's cottage crackled low. Mira sat across from him, knees to her chest, wrapped in a wool shawl. Outside, thunder rolled over the hills. Inside, the silence was louder. I loved her, Arav said. Radhika. Mira looked up slowly. But I was weak, he continued. I saw her break, and I looked away. I left when she needed me the most. Mira's eyes shimmered, but her voice was calm. You're not the only one who ran. Arav leaned forward. Tell me, Mira, who are you really? Her reply was barely a whisper. The girl who buried Radhika. Mira took Arav into the woods, the same trail behind the school Radhika used to teach at. Rain had softened the earth, and every step sank slightly. There, she pointed, stopping near a mossy stone wall, a hollow beneath the roots of a twisted tree open like a mouth. I helped her hide her diary here. Before she disappeared, Arav crouched, pulled out a rusted tin box. Inside, a small notebook, wrapped in fabric. Inside the notebook, names, dates, sketches, and one horrifying line. He visits her room after midnight. She told me she's scared. She begged me to tell someone. I tried. No one believed us. Arav stared at Mira. Is this about your father? Mira nodded. Radhika ran barefoot through the trees, blood on her lip, eyes wide. She had to get to Mira's house. Behind her, a flashlight beam cut through the fog. Voices, laughter, slurred and angry. She reached Mira's window, banged on it, whispering, "Let me in." Inside, Mira opened the latch. Her hands shook. What happened? Radhika cried. He tried to, and then glass shattered behind them. The next moment, everything went black. Back in the present, Inspector Dev Singh appeared at Arav's door unannounced. You've been digging, he said. That's dangerous. Arav didn't flinch. Dangerous for who? Dev gave a slow, cold smile. Some stories are better left unfinished, especially if the villain is still alive. He dropped a matchbox on the table. It had Radhika's name written on it in blood-red ink. I'll be watching, Dev whispered, and walked into the night. That night, Arav's cottage caught fire. Flames tore through his books, his laptop, his notes. Mira screamed as neighbors rushed to help. Arav pulled her out just in time. When the fire died, the only thing left unburned was Radhika's diary, still clutched in Mira's hands. Arav collapsed on the grass. This wasn't an accident, Mira whispered. He knows we're close. Then, she looked at Arav. You still think I'm the one hiding something? Arav looked at her long and hard. No, I think you're the only one trying to tell the truth. Under the smoky sky, with flames still crackling in the distance, Arav pulled Mira close. Their kiss was not gentle. It was grief meeting guilt. It was memories pressed between two broken people finally letting go. For the first time, Mira didn't feel cold, but in the shadows, someone was watching. And the next day, Radhika's body was found. The body was fresh, which meant Radhika never died 10 years ago. Everyone thought the story was over, but she was just beginning to speak. Arav and Mira discover Radhika's hidden diary, exposing horrifying truths about Mira's father, Inspector Dev Singh, and his abuse. Arav's home was burned down, and arson likely meant as a warning. Mira and Arav's emotional bond deepened into romance, but just as they connected, tragedy struck. Radhika's body was found in the forest, apparently fresh, contradicting the belief she had died 10 years ago. The real question now wasn't just who killed her, but where had she been for a decade? And what role was Mira really playing there? Sinha, the town's mortician, stood in front of Arav and Dev Singh with his autopsy report. She died less than 72 hours ago. Dev Singh's face turned pale. That's impossible, he muttered. We searched that forest back then. There was nothing there, Arav leaned in. Or maybe you made sure of that. The inspector glared at him. She was alive, Dev. Arav continued. For 10 years. Somewhere nearby. Maybe even held captive. Dr. Sinha added. She had bruises on her wrists. Old ones. Repeated injuries. She was chained. Silence. Someone kept Radhika locked away for 10 years and killed her just before she was found when Arav returned to Mira's cottage. It was empty. No signs of struggle. No note. Just one final painting left behind, a portrait of Radhika, chained in a stone basement, and in the background a faint figure. Watching her. It was Dev Singh, but there was something wrong with the face. Too young, too sharp. And then it hit him. It wasn't Dev Singh. It was his son, back at the station. Arav broke into Dev Singh's files. Buried in locked drawers, he found it. Name. Nikhil Singh. Relationship. Son status. Declared mentally unstable at age 15. Sent to boarding rehab in Manali. Escaped. Never found. Nikhil. Dev Singh had another child. And he was the one who took Radhika. But why had Dev hidden that? Arav followed clues from the diary and Mira's painting, symbols, locations, a scratch number 28 from Radhika's final entry. They led him to a long abandoned bungalow hidden deep in the woods. Inside, chains on the walls, a broken bed, a tray with rusted spoons, and in one corner a voice recorder. He played it. If anyone finds this, please tell Mira I tried. I stayed alive for her, but he won't let me go. He wears a mask now. Says if I scream again, he'll hurt Mira next. Arav covered his mouth. Shaking. Radhika had been held alive for 10 years, and now Mira was missing, maybe taken by the same man. Arav returned to town to confront Dev Singh, but the inspector was already gone. A neighbor said he left with his daughter, but Mira had no memory of being taken, which meant he was with someone else. Arav rushed back to the old bungalow. It was night now, cold fog all around. Inside, tied to a chair, was Dev Singh, beaten, bleeding, gagged. Behind him, a shadow emerged. Not Mira. Nikhil. He wore a cracked porcelain mask. His eyes were wide, unblinking. You followed her here, he whispered. Just like Radhika. Just like all of them. Arav's voice was firm. Where's Mira? She's where she always is, Nikhil said, tilting his head. In a quiet place. As Nikhil lunged, Arav fought him off. A gunshot rang out. Mira, bleeding, but alive, had found her way there. She pulled the trigger again. Nikhil dropped, mask cracking on the stone. Mira collapsed into Arav's arms, shaking violently. Dev Singh, bloodied, whispered from behind them. I tried to protect him. I didn't know what he'd done until it was too late. Arav stared at him. You protected your monster. You buried her story. Mira looked into her father's eyes. You buried me too. Baira was quiet again. The truth had come out. Nikhil's crimes. Dev Singh's cover-up. Radhika's suffering. Mira's silence. Arav's book was finished. Title. Beneath her silent seat was dedicated to Radhika. Mira now taught art therapy in Shimla, helping girls like her reclaim their voice. And Arav, he still wrote, but more importantly, he stayed. In the last scene, Mira opens a new package at her doorstep. No return address. Inside, a small cracked porcelain mask. And a note. She wasn't the only one.